Karen had already tested nearly every boundary of entitlement, but her next stunt took absurdity to a level that even the neighborhood collectively gasped at. One morning, I discovered she had dug a trench across my driveway. Yes, a literal trench, apparently in a misguided attempt to assert some imagined HOA authority or prevent illegal access. The audacity of this move was staggering. My driveway, the literal path to my home, had been transformed into a construction zone by Karen's hand, and she didn't expect the consequences that were about to follow. I first noticed the trench when I returned from an errand. A deep, muddy groove ran across the center of the driveway, stretching from one boundary marker to another. Tire tracks indicated that Karen had used machinery or a rented digger to create it, and footprints around the edges revealed she had overseen the project personally. At first, I stared in disbelief. Then, calmly, I began documenting every detail. Photographs, video from my security cameras, and measurements of the damage. The HOA was notified immediately. Karen, expecting the board to back her actions, showed up at the office boasting about her initiative. She claimed the trench was a necessary measure to enforce parking regulations and protect neighborhood aesthetics. Board members listened politely, then asked for legal authority and documented approval. Karen had none. Not a single signature, not a single motion, not a shred of legitimacy. She was, as usual, acting entirely on self-assumed authority. Rather than responding impulsively, I decided to escalate strategically. Within hours, I submitted a formal complaint citing property damage, trespassing, and harassment. I also proposed a bold plan. Instead of simply filling in the trench, why not turn my property into a fortress? Leveraging my legal ownership and HOA control, I commissioned a temporary barrier system that both repaired the trench and added a series of reinforced gates, landscaping walls, and surveillance cameras. The project was aesthetically pleasing, functional, and, most importantly, completely within my legal rights. When Karen returned the next day to gloat, she was met with an unexpected sight. My driveway had transformed into a fortified entrance, complete with cameras capturing every approach. Attempting to walk across it now meant entering a monitored, legally protected zone. Her audacity evaporated as she realized her unilateral action had backfired spectacularly. The neighbors, of course, were delighted. Video footage of Karen inspecting the trench, realizing the upgraded security, and stomping away in frustration went viral in our community chat. Memes appeared almost immediately. Karen versus driveway fortress and trenchmaker gets trapped were just a few of the captions. Even her closest allies began distancing themselves, recognizing that siding with Karen now carried too much risk and too much public embarrassment. Legally, Karen was in hot water. The HOA board, now fully aware of her repeated overreach, fined her for property damage and trespassing. The incident was documented for potential further legal action if she attempted to interfere again. I also updated the neighborhood on the event, emphasizing the importance of following rules, respecting property boundaries, and documenting interference. Karen's trench had become a textbook case study of entitlement unchecked by law or evidence, until it met both head-on. By the end of the saga, the lesson was clear. Attempting to assert control through destructive, unilateral actions only escalates consequences. My driveway was secure, my property rights reinforced, and Karen had once again demonstrated that her overreach was spectacularly self-defeating. And, as always, I knew she would be plotting her next move. But this time, she would encounter a fully fortified response, cameras capturing every action, and legal safeguards ensuring that her audacity would continue to collapse spectacularly with every attempt. The neighborhood had learned to expect the unexpected from Karen, but also, thanks to meticulous preparation, to watch every absurd escalation end in undeniable public defeat. And this driveway incident, with its trench and resulting fortress, would become one of the most memorable chapters of the ongoing HOA Karen saga.